I watched this movie recently, and there's this part where the kid says, "I have no idea what I'm doing here." And the other dude responds and he says, "I don't think anyone does. At least you admit it." And this kind of got me thinking about something else that I've been thinking of lately, which is the fact that I don't know who I am standing alone. It's a bold statement to make, but I also think that I am not alone in this. I also think that most people, if not a lot of people, don't know who they are either, and not all of them admit it. But when I say I don't know who I am, I don't mean that I have no idea what I stand for, or I have no sense of right and wrong, or I don't have any of my own opinions or perspectives. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, I don't know what makes me an individual. I don't know what makes any of us individuals. If someone asks you who you are, there are so many ways you could answer that question. There are a lot of things that I am. I am a human, I'm a woman, I'm somebody's daughter, I'm somebody's sister, I am autistic, I'm gay. Insert anything about yourself here. Like, there's so many ways that you could answer that question, but the thing is, like, none of those things are who you are. How do you define yourself without doing that in relation to something else? So, you're not the roles that you play in life. Okay, point A established. There's lots of other things about a human that might make them unique, or at least allow us to distinguish one human from the other human, like hobbies and interests, for example. So I can think about the things that I'm interested in, or the things I like to spend my time doing. But those things are also not me. They're things that I enjoy. I have a lot of thoughts and I feel a lot of emotions, but my emotions are also not me. They're just emotions, and they pass through all the time. They come and they go and they change. And the same thing with my thoughts. Like, I am not my thoughts. They are just passing through me. They're passing by and I'm witnessing them and I'm experiencing them, but they are not me. So what am I? Like, what do we actually mean when we say me or I? Because if I'm not any of the roles that I play, I'm not any of the things that I like, I'm not any of the things that I spend my time with, and I'm not my thoughts and my feelings, what actually am I? Now, I feel like arguably one of the worst parts about being a human being is not our consciousness, but our consciousness of our consciousness. Like, you can be a conscious being, for example, like a cat. They are aware and alive, but they are not aware of their awareness. And when you become aware of your awareness, that's when things start to get unhinged and chaotic. One time I had this professor who said something, and I have never forgotten it since. He was talking to this student, and he was like, "There is no such thing as original thought." And I swear when I heard that, my fucking brain, like, exploded. I was like, holy shit, like, I'm crying. What the Oh my god. It was, like, so wild to me, because I was like, no, like, he's dead ass. Like, he is so right. There is not a single thought that I have had in my life that has not already been had by someone else. Every single thought that I've had, everything that I think about, has been thought about by somebody else. And I don't think it's possible to actually produce a new thought. Like, someone has already done it. So this just brings me back to the question of, like, literally what makes an individual? Like, what makes any one of us different from the other? If it's not the things outside of us, if it's not the things that we do and the things that we think or feel, what is it, if anything at all? I will say that at this point in my life, I have a much greater sense of who I am, in terms of the things that I think I am, like my preferences and awareness of my thoughts and feelings and the things that I like and things that feel like me versus things that don't feel like me. But at the same time, that feels so surface level. And for most of my life, I didn't even have that. Like, I actually had no idea who I was because I spent my entire life pretending to be something that I'm not, to try to blend in with the people around me, to get by and survive in that way, to the point where I literally had no idea who I was. To the point where the only time that I felt like I could breathe was when I finally came home and closed the door and did not have to be around anyone or anything. I probably experience like some level of depersonalization. It's such a weird feeling, and I don't know if that's normal. I feel like it's not normal. Yeah, I am just like so aware of my own existence that like it doesn't feel real to me. Like it feels so weird, and I'm like, who am I? And I'm just like in this thing, like this is my body, but it's just like, it's not me. Like, sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, who the fuck is this person? Like, one time I looked in the mirror and I literally got so scared. Oh my god, I swear I was not on drugs. Like, I got so, I don't know, it was like late at night or something, and I like got up to go to the bathroom, and like I just turned the light on and I just like looked at myself in the mirror, and like I kept looking and I couldn't stop looking, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I got so scared. I literally freaked the fuck out. I was like, who is this bitch looking back at me? Like, I got so scared. It was like one of the weirdest moments of my life. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm literally like in this thing, like this is just like my skin suit. It's this body that I have, but like I also don't really identify with it. I see it and like that's cool, but it's like the thing that like my brain is just like chilling in so that I can actually experience the world and like move through it. And it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. It is so weird. I feel like I sound like I've like done drugs, but really I haven't. And that's what makes this so much worse, is that I just like to suffer for fun, apparently. The thing is too, I try to distract my brain, you know? Like, I'm not really the type of person to just like lay around, because that would make me so depressed. Like, I can't do that. It will make me depressed. So I try to like occupy myself with like going outside and seeing grass and like exercising or doing something to like fill my free time, more or less. And still like I just am this way, and I feel like I've been this way for a really, really long time. I don't know if neurodivergence has anything to do with it, but I feel like it does, because I have felt this way my whole life, where I say that like I feel like an alien, like I feel like I literally was like dropped on planet Earth from like outer space, and like I don't know what's going on, but here I am and I'm just like figuring it out, and I feel like I don't belong here. And like, not even in a depressing way. It has been depressing in the past, but like what I'm referring to right now, it's not necessarily depressing. It's just like this genuine feeling that like I don't belong here. Like, this is, what the fuck is this? And since actually like interacting with other autistic people, I came to find that I was not the only one who felt that way. So I feel like maybe that plays a role, but I don't know. There's so many things that like I would love to not think about. I would genuinely love to not think about them, but I can't stop thinking about them. And sometimes I just wish that I would stop thinking, because it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. Like, it's not actually that fun, especially when you like share a thought with someone and you're like, oh, do you ever have this happen to you? And they're like, no. The things I would do to be a cat for a singular day, the things that I would do to not be able to think about my thinking, to not be conscious of my consciousness, and to just be. Like, can I just be a rock, actually? No. Yesterday, I did this meditation, and I busted out laughing so hard in the middle of it, because she's like, imagine yourself turning into a white rock. Oh, what now? I tried, like, I was trying to be so serious, you know? I was like, okay, like, I need to be present, like, I'm so stressed, I need this meditation. She said, turn into a rock. Oh my god. Oh, I'm delusional. Okay, I have been myself a little too much, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna think about what I've done and I'm gonna reflect. And I'm gonna try to not do it again. Okay, be nice to yourself, drink some water today, do something that makes you smile. It's worth it. And don't think these thoughts. Don't think them. They're bad thoughts. Just ignore me.